Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
what are the biggest missed opportunities for building wealth that most people don't know about? Britain's first billionaire, Gerald Grosvenor, Duke of Westminster, was asked this question shortly before he died back in the 1980s. His answer was, "The only way I know is to make sure one of your ancestors was a close friend of William the Conqueror." Quote, a close to unbelievable amount of self-awareness for someone of his class. Mind you, old money tends to be a bit more self-aware than new money. Or so I hear. Edit, do so. Mark Cuban was asked a similar question, if he thought he could become a billionaire again if he started over from scratch. He said millionaire would be easy, but billionaire is luck. Not saving for retirement young. A little early is worth much more than a lot later. Make sure you invest it in growth assets like stocks so that it has room to expand. From my teens to my early 20s I spent all my money on BS because I wasn't rich yet and one day I would be, so I wanted to enjoy my non-rich life and relax from working so much in school and at work. I also threw so much money away on dumb stocks and crypto trying to get rich quick. Had I just set an auto buy to at the very least S&P 500, similar to how I do now, I would have been golden. Yeah, that's the key. Sign up for the company 401k on day one, pick boring index funds to invest in, and then completely forget about it. Auto investing is the best way to do it, because it's hard to budget. Give me $100, and ask me how much I'd like to invest and I'll tell you that I need that whole $100 for a ton of reasons, and those reasons would be valid. Take $10 out before I even see the money and invest it for me, and give me $90. I'll probably make do just fine with that $90, and not even think about that extra $10 that went straight into a retirement fund. Health. Prioritize your physical health to lower healthcare expenses now and later in life, and also so you're not busted AF when you're retired and actually have time to enjoy your life. Prize is I developed type 1 diabetic as a teen in the States. Been literally locked in poverty my entire life from either the cost of something that should be free or being locked in a shitty low-paying job because they have decent benefits. I feel you there. It sucks to live in a country that won't cut you any break whatsoever for a chronic illness you have no control over. Either take what you can get or die. Time. Invest as young as you can, and time takes care of the rest. Removed. The power of compounding. I hear this a lot. I could use some help with my situation. All my investments are in growth ETFs, stock-based ETFs mainly. They don't pay interest, dividends, and therefore no reinvestment. So, am I missing out on compound interest and is my strategy not good? Like, why would an interest-paying instrument, compounded of course, be better than just holding stocks long-term? Not starting to invest earlier. Compounding is basically free money, but only if you give it time. How do you find opportunities to get compounding interest? The biggest opportunity is through your employer. If you work for an employer with a 401k or 403b and they give a match and you're not at least contributing enough to get the match, do that today. You're missing out on a 100% return on your money that is part of your compensation. Outside of your employer-sponsored plans, individuals can contribute up to $7,000 to a Roth IRA. The beauty of it is this is tax going in but is not tax coming back out. There are restrictions to how and when you can access this money though. While both of the above are considered tax advantaged, only taxed once, either when you put the money in or take it out, your final option, that also has the most flexibility, is the taxable brokerage. You put money in, invest in whatever you want and can take it out whenever you want. But be careful, taxes are most definitely a thing to consider when doing this. Most importantly, note that 401 kiloseconds, 403b, Roth IRAs and taxable brokerages are just accounts, places you store money. Make sure that once your money makes it into the account it's actually invested in something. Personal finance is a great first stop with a wiki as well that can help you get rolling about how to make a financial plan. Once you get your account set up and need help knowing what to invest your money in, bogleheads. As a young person, don't put extra money in a brokerage account until you max out tax-advantaged accounts. Edit, friendly and completely non-judgmental reminder to learn about tax-advantaged accounts when you are young. I'm seeing some misconceptions and this stuff can be complicated, but it's hugely beneficial to learn early and start maximizing these benefits. Roth, you pay taxes today and put money in. When you take it out later it is not subject to any taxes, neither income nor capital gain. Traditional 401k, IRA, instead of paying income taxes today, you pay them when you take money out. You avoid capital gains. This is particularly useful during your peak earning years. Traditional brokerage, you pay income taxes on your money today. You also pay capital gains taxes when you withdraw the money. You also owe income taxes in dividends, distributions. Yep, paying the taxes now when you're young and in a lower tax bracket is cheaper than paying the taxes when you cash out. Start early. Learn to live on less early. Max out your incentives from your employer. Greater than learn to live on less early. And the best way to do that is to realize you are terrible at learning to live on less, and force yourself to invest. By force, I mean just sign up for the company 401k and have the money automatically taken out of your check. If you give me $100 and then say, give me some back to invest for you, I will probably say, well, this month is tough, I have bills, and I'd like to go out to eat once maybe, so ask me again next month. If you just take $10 out and invest it for me, then give me $90, I won't notice that $10 is missing in the first place, and I'll just make do with the $90, because that's all that ended up in my bank account. Coming from wealth. Exactly. Whenever possible, you should be born to wealthy parents. That way, your starting advantages can accumulate over time and you can call yourself self-made. Quote: buy low, don't sell, keep buying. Instructions unclear, have a house full of stuff now. Never, never, never carry over a credit card balance. It does not build credit. It is a predatory loan. Pay all cards in full on the payment period due date and not before. Every day of early payment you lose 1/365th of earned interest. I don't understand your last point. Why is it bad to pay off my card before the due date? I'm not earning interest on my balance. The presumption is that you have all of your cash invested in something earning a decent interest rate, so the longer you can wait before you part with it, the better. Assuming you can earn 5% interest and add 2 weeks to your float on $1,000, that earns you about $2 a month. It's not $0, but I would argue that clearing all of your debt obligations early and on a regular basis will be more beneficial for peace of mind. And if you screw up and incur a late fee, you've negated 2 years' worth of effort. But you do you. Let's say your CC balance is $2,000 on the 19th and due on the 31st. If you pay that $2,000 off now, the 19th, you lose out on the interest you could earn from putting that money into a high-interest savings account, HISA, for the days between the 19th and 31st. Since the $2,000 is due on the 31st and it's interest-free until then, i.e., you're not paying more than you've actually spent, it's better to pay that amount in full on the due date rather than earlier so you don't miss out on the interest from a HISA or any other type of account that can earn you money during the period before your due date. Don't have children very early. Kids are costly. I'm pretty well off, but I notice that, despite a good salary, I have less wealth than my peers because I had to spend a lot of money on my kids from a young age. Money that I couldn't invest or save. Doesn't mean I regret my kids. But it's a factor you have to consider if you think about this stuff early. On one end I've always wanted kids, on another end I'm so scared of the financial impacts it will have. Choose your parents wisely. Reddit has a free wiki on personal finance. Highly recommend, https://www.reddit.com/r/personalfinance/wiki/. Don't drive new cars. Buy only older gently used cars and then drive it until it's no longer economically repairable. Use the money you save by not having car payments to build up a large emergency fund so you can pay for the occasional repairs, and to buy your next older gently used car when this one finally dies. This isn't necessarily good advice everywhere and all the time. At least here in Europe, used cars have really jumped in price, so have repairs and parts. If you're a small business owner, it's an even better idea to get a new car, since you can write the car expenses off as tax deductions. Yeah, Grandma just bought a new car cause used was more expensive flushed. This was in Croatia. Max out your 401k and take advantage of any employer match. Compounding interest is huge. I like your premise, but the max contribution for 2025 is $23,500. That would mean you are telling a married couple that all they have to do is set aside $47,000 every year. That isn't doable for most people. Most employer matches stop at 3% of salary, the more generous go to 6%, and some have total dollar caps on top of that, i.e. 6% up to 10K, whichever is smaller. It's more about taking advantage of that free money, whatever it is. You won't feel that 6% if you start right up front. Maxing out your 401k contribution is a major milestone that not a lot of people hit for sure. It amazes me that folks don't max out to employer match. Where else are you going to get a guaranteed 100% return on your investment? People would suck dicks and murder to get a 100% return on their money. IMO the 401k match is much easier. HSA triple tax advantage. It's not about investing. The key is actually non-consumption. You have to radically lower your expense. It's actually amazing with how little you can live. How much stuff that other people have that you don't need. This is true but really sad at the same time. Not sad at all. Society overconsumes. Everything is about consumption. How much you can buy, what car you drive, what clothing do you wear, etc. Lowering the money we spend on random BS is not sad. It's a better way of allocating our money as a society. A society that doesn't drive the $50,000 car and doesn't wear designer clothing but is able to retire with a beautiful family is much healthier than our current one. Don't buy shit on credit. If you can't pay cash for it, don't buy it. I'd amend this. Always put shit on credit so long as you can pay it in full before interest kicks in. Never pay interest, and definitely don't buy things and credit and make minimum payments. But building credit and earning rewards for things you were gonna buy anyway is a win. Sounds like you will never own a home. This may have worked in the 70s, 80s, but not today. You need a credit score for everything nowadays, including just renting an apartment and many jobs. Smart use of credit is what people need. You need to use a credit card for everything, but be able to pay that credit card off at the end of each month before the interest is due.